Hi, how are you? Okay, I hope you're well. My name is Bikaba Joan. I work with Vine Pharmaceuticals in Pharma, Uganda. Welcome back. We've taken a while without sharing some knowledge. Welcome back. And today we're going to look at a supplement called Vitabiotics Wellzyme. Vitabiotics Wellzymes. This is the supplement that we're going to talk about. It has an advanced formula of digestive enzymes. We're going to look at it in very many phases so that we have an understanding. We're going to have like three to four videos concerning this very product because it's one of the very best products that we actually have. Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in, and you can subscribe to my channel as well. Let us first start with where enzymes important, what are digestive enzymes, why are they important, and why do we need to supplement with enzymes. When you look at enzymes, they're very important in the digestive system, they're very important in the immunity of the body and all those other things. So enzymes are not only about digestion, enzymes are involved in almost every body process in the body. They are involved in almost every body process in the body. So they are actually very, very, very essential as we shall be seeing. Digestive enzymes are naturally occurring, so they're naturally occurring in the body, and they are proteins. Actually, digestive enzymes are proteins that your body makes to break down food and aid digestion and all those other processes that I talked about. They are proteins that the body makes in order to break down food and aid in digestion. So what's digestion? Digestion is the process by which food gets into the body. It is broken down, and then the body gets nutrients found in the food to give the body energy, help the body grow, and perform vital functions in the body. So it's through digestion that the nutrients found are extracted from the food that you've eaten, and then these same nutrients are the ones that give your body energy, they make your body grow and help the body perform vital functions in the body. So when you eat a meal or a snack, when you eat, digestion begins actually in the mouth. The saliva has enzymes that start breaking down the food right away into a form that the saliva helps to convert the food into a form that can be swallowed and absorbed by the body. But digestion actually begins because there are some enzymes in the saliva that will also help break down the food in order to form nutrients that can actually be absorbed by the body that help in many body processes. So there are a lot of very many points in the digestive process where enzymes are released and activated. Remember, the supplement we're going to look at it's an advanced formula with digestive enzymes. There are very many different points where enzymes are released and activated. In the digestive process, for example, the stomach, the small intestines, the mouth, the pancreas, all those, you find that the pancreas actually will make digestive enzymes. You find that in the stomach, there will be a digestive enzyme that is released that is actually also activated. Okay, the pancreas is really the one that produces the most enzyme, and it produces the enzymes that break down the carbohydrates into its finest form. They break down the proteins and then also the fat. So the pancreas is one of the most important organs of the digestive system. So if the body, like we say, the body produces digestive enzymes, so why do we have a supplement that would help with that has digestive enzymes? Yes, the body produces enzymes, but some people don't have enough digestive enzymes to help in that process. So their bodies don't release the amount of enzymes that are needed through the digestive process. So you find that they have a number of issues because of that insufficient amount of enzymes. So they can't break down certain foods, they can't absorb certain nutrients, you find their immunity is lower, they suffer from inflammatory conditions and all those things, just because their body doesn't produce enough enzyme. An example of such people are people who you hear, hey, I'm lactose intolerant, I'm lactose intolerant. That means they don't produce enough of an enzyme called lactase enzyme. Lactase enzyme is supposed to help in the breakdown of lactose. So people who are lactose intolerant actually have insufficient amounts of lactase enzyme. It's not that, I'm genetically like that. No, we can give you actually this supplement. I can even start it like for someone who is lactose intolerant, when you give them Wellzyme, the advanced formula of digestive enzymes, you give them like 3 to 4 capsules every time they're taking a lactose meal, and they will not have all those issues of, oh, like I took milk, I took dairy, and then I was unable to, then I had all these other symptoms of lactose intolerance, like bloating, I had stomach ache, I had diarrhea, I felt like I was nauseous and all those things. So this Wellzyme will help people who are lactose intolerant because it has lactase enzyme. Those people usually have insufficient amounts of lactase enzyme. Okay, so some of the symptoms of digestive enzyme insufficiency include belly pain or cramping, bloating, diarrhea, gas, oily stools, unexplained weight loss. So there are very many symptoms associated with insufficient amount of digestive enzymes. So because of that, that's why we have external sources of enzymes. That's why you have a supplement like Vitabiotics Wellzyme here that will help give the body, for example, the lactase, the amylase, the proteas that it's lacking, and so that the body processes can go on. So now let us go to one of the enzymes that are in this pack is the Proteas enzyme. So the Proteas enzyme. So we're now looking into which enzymes are in this pack. So one of them is the Proteas enzyme. So the Proteas enzyme, because by the way, don't give Proteas enzyme enough credit. Like the Proteas enzyme, you're able to see, you're able to think, you're able to breathe because of Proteas enzyme. And I'm going to explain. It is involved in almost every body process. Proteas enzymes are needed in almost every body process. So what are proteases? These are enzymes that allow for the breakdown of proteins in the body. So proteases are enzymes that allow for the breakdown of protein in the body. So what do? They break down the protein, the big protein chain, the big protein molecule into shorter fragments called peptides. Then they further break down the peptides into amino acids, which the body will reabsorb and use in things like tissue repair, making of the immune cells, and all those other processes. So what they do is that they allow for the breakdown of proteins in the body. They first of all break down the protein molecule into peptides, then they break down the peptides into amino acids, which amino acids are needed for repair of tissue, for formation of cells, for growth of tissue, actually, for repair of tissue, for all these other body processes, as we are going to see. So the process of digesting of proteins actually begins in the stomach. Yes, so food is chewed, but then chemical digestion of proteins. So yes, proteins will be chewed in the mouth, but their actual breakdown will happen in the stomach, where hydrochloric acid, the HCl, will unfold the protein. Hydrochloric acid will expose the protein, and then the enzyme pepsin will begin to act on the proteins. Then after that, the pancreas will release other protease enzymes like trypsin and chymotrypsins, which will further break down the proteins into smaller pieces, or what we call the amino acids. Then the enzymes inside the intestinal lining will help with the reabsorption. So let me repeat it so that it's clear. So what happens is that when you take in food, it goes into the stomach. Hydrochloric acid will help expose the proteins, and then because pepsin only acts in an acidic environment, pepsin will be able to break down the proteins into peptides and other bigger bonds. Then on top of that, as the protein is moving from the stomach, the pancreas will produce trypsin, which will further break down the proteins. Then as we go ahead, there will be other protease enzymes. All these I'm talking about are types of protease enzymes. Other protease enzymes are going to be produced in the intestinal lining of the stomach, which will further break down those proteins into amino acids, which amino acids are the ones that are ready for use, for reabsorption, and for use throughout the body. So that's what happens when you take in meat, which is a protein. You will chew it, it will go to the stomach. The pepsin will act on it, break it into peptide bonds. Then the pancreas will release trypsin, which will further act on it, breaking it down further. Then the enzymes in the intestinal lining will break it down and making it form amino acids, which is what is used by the body. So protease has a variety of functions, as we're going to see. It helps in regulating metabolic function. It allows for the proper functioning of the vitamins and minerals. It helps with repair of tissues. It helps with many systems. The function of the liver, the spleen, very many organs and systems are actually dependent on these amino acids, and protease allows for their proper functioning. So the types of proteins, we have pepsin. The types of protease, we have pepsin, we have trypsin, we have chymotrypsin, and then bromelain. So we have pepsin, trypsin, chymotrypsin, and bromelain. So what are the health benefits? I've a bit talked about the health benefits, but then we have they're essential for digestion. They help in the digestion, breakdown of proteins into smaller molecules, amino acids that are needed by the body to grow the body. They are needed in the immune, for building cells of the immunity. They are needed for all the vital organs in the body and all those things, for metabolic function and all those other things. So then another thing that it does, so on top of breaking down the proteins, it actually also breaks down the toxins. Protease enzymes actually also break down toxins that you take in with food and all those other things. This prevents toxic overload in the body. So this trypsin that's in here will prevent toxic overload in the body. In the body, because it breaks down the waste, it also breaks down the toxins, and in order for them to be eliminated. Another function of proteins is that allows absorption of amino acids, which are vital, which are the building blocks actually for tissues and all those other things. They are vital for repairing and building of tissue. They are building blocks of all those tissues. The other thing is it boosts immunity. Protease increases the potency. That means the viability, the strength. It increases the potency of the natural killer T cells that help to fight off infections, to kill off disease-causing organisms. So protease will help to increase their potency, but also it degrades the offending, for example, the bacteria's immunity. The proteins will degrade the bacteria's immunity. Another, the protease will degrade the immunity. So then protease will prevent blood clots and atherosclerosis. So it improves how does it do that? It improves the quality of our blood cells. They are responsible for the dissolution. These protease enzymes are responsible for the dissolution of the blood clots. So it helps to cut them down, and then the blood clots will dissolve. And then they have anticoagulant and anti-inflammatory and anti-hypertensive effects. They have anticoagulant, anti-inflammatory and anti-hypertensive effects. It has been used, actually protease enzymes have been used, especially trypsin, chymotrypsin, they have been used, and bromelain and papain, they have been used in treating thrombosis since the 1970s. It's that long. So most people use it as treatment against clots. So if someone has clotting disorders, you could give them this supplement that has protease enzymes. So it accelerates tissue repair, especially trypsin and chymotrypsin. They help to reduce inflammation and promote a speedy recovery from those tissue infections. So I've said this product, sorry, this Wellzyme product has 15 digestive enzymes. 15 digestive enzymes. So I've just scratched the surface. I've just started talking about one, which is protease. So the second one I'm going to talk about is amylase. So amylase is an enzyme that helps break down complex carbohydrates. It helps to break down complex carbohydrates into simple sugars. Humans and some other mammals secrete amylase in the mouth and then in the pancreas, and it helps to digest the carbohydrates. The reason why your potatoes and rice are a bit sweet is because of the amylase, the presence of amylase in the saliva. So that's why we say chemical digestion of proteins begins in the stomach, whereas chemical digestion of carbohydrates begins in the mouth, because we have salivary amylase in the mouth. But as we shall see, there is a gene called AMY1 gene that is responsible for the production of amylase enzyme. Now, the more of that gene that you have, the more amylase that you produce. But the less of that gene that you have, the less amylase that you produce. So people who have amylase reduction, insufficient of amylase levels, most of them have low levels of that gene. Another reason for amylase insufficiency would be old age. The older someone becomes, the more amylase production declines. So some people, especially people in hunting communities, they usually have less of that AMY1 gene, but also the older someone gets, the less amylase they are producing, and it's necessary for the digestion of carbohydrates. So what does it do? Number one, it helps in the breakdown and then absorption of breakdown of starch into simple sugars, which sugars will again be broken down to produce energy. So that's number one. Then number two, aging support. When you supplement with amylase, it will help to maintain normal amylase levels as someone ages. It helps to reduce the load when you supplement with amylase, you're reducing the load the small intestines have to digest those complex carbohydrates. So when you give amylase supplementation, which will start in the mouth, you will increase the amount of amylase that's in the mouth, and this will reduce the load on the small intestines and therefore help with normal digestive function. It supports healthy immune response. How it inhibits aggregation of antigens. So today we've looked at digestive enzymes. Why are they necessary? What are some of the symptoms of digestive enzymes? We've looked at things like bloating. We've looked at things like oily stool, runny nose, those cramps, and all those. You realize that even people who have lactose intolerance have all those, and that's because they have insufficient levels of enzyme lactase. We went ahead to look at protease and so how it helps in the breakdown of proteins. protease enzymes, and we saw the different types of protease enzymes, and they help in the breakdown of proteins into amino acids, which amino acids are needed for the growing of the body, for repair of tissues, for metabolism, for immunity response, for very many process, metabolic function, very many process. Like the reason you see you're there, you think is because actually of a protease enzyme somewhere. Then we went ahead to look at amylase, which helps in carbohydrate breakdown, in starch breakdown, and starch is carbohydrates, in starch breakdown, and also looked at why someone might have insufficient levels of amylase. So the supplement that has all these digestive enzymes is Vitabiotics Enzyme. It's available at all Vine pharmaceutical outlets, and it has about 15 enzymes. And this, one of the types, next week we shall be talking about the in the next video we shall be talking about people who are lactose intolerant, and shall look at lactase enzyme that is in this. And we, like I said before even we talk about it, if you're lactose intolerant, and you know how people who are lactose intolerant can't stay away from lactose, you better get this and take at least 3 to 4 capsules of it whenever you have you're going to take a meal that contains lactose. Thank you so much. Have a good evening, good morning, good night. Bye bye.